great win today. You know, sometimes it's nice to win a match that's kind of not so close, but going into a final tomorrow, how gratifying is it to really have to be pressed, play your A game, and come through?
Yeah, today was I think was one of those matches that I really had to just be patient. I think that was the key, and I knew I'm not gonna have that many rallies against John. I knew that he's gonna serve big bold serves, so I just had to be very composed and use every opportunity that I had. And I think in the end of the match was just a few points that made the biggest difference for me, and I'm just happy with, obviously, with the win, but I'm just happy the way that I kept myself together throughout the whole match and just remained calm in those tough moments. It's I mean, I know it's nerve-wracking from outside, but it's even tougher when you're in there and you have to receive a serve that comes with 41 miles an hour. So yeah, I think I take a lot of positivity out of that match, and I'm just building up. This is how I like to see it, and tomorrow is the same thing for me. Just another match that I just want to come out and play the best way that I can. That's all I can count on me right now.
Very close, and obviously the difference was the tiebreakers. You played these against somebody who plays a lot of them. Do you, in the course of your practice, do you practice tiebreakers, simulated tiebreakers?
Yeah, I think we always do. Sometimes when we have an hour and a half, and you know, with whoever we practice against, in the end, always we have 5-10 minutes. If the score is like, let's say 5-0 and we couldn't finish practice on time, we're like, let's play a tiebreak. So. Yeah, but it's very different, I think, for everybody, and it all comes down to who's going to be better at one point, basically, and be able to sustain it. And yeah, especially when you have a big servers, that makes it even more complicated because the stress is more, I would say, and you know that even if it's 4-3 for you, you know, like, I cannot lose that point. And but yeah, I think that's the beauty of the tennis.
John said something really interesting. He said during the tiebreakers, especially, he felt like a nervous energy, almost a tension where, you know, you're, I don't want to say scared to go for a shot or something, but just a little tension there. And he said that he thought you felt a little better and were able to keep more calm during those big moments in the tiebreak. And he said he didn't know for sure, but
yeah.
I bet you know.
Yeah, as I said, it's just different for every player, and for him the biggest thing was obviously the serve. So he was under pressure a lot because I also thought I was putting a lot of balls back. But on, like, for example, the 4 match points that I had, he put 4 first serves and not a slow one. So for me it was, I mean, I didn't think he was tight or anything, you know, but I don't know, maybe he was a little tired, I would say, but definitely. But yeah, in the end it was pretty. I think we were playing with our nerves in the end. It's just simple as that. When 2 players are going, you know, head to head, and it's that close, this is what it all comes down to. And we were just talking about it in the locker room now. It's like, man, I never hit those big forehands, man. Like, I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, I've never seen anybody hit that wide serve so well, like 4 times in a row. So it's kind of a nice feel to kind of have it in the locker room and be able to reflect on the match, especially especially after such a battle. And yeah, it was just good to hear each other talking about how we felt in a certain moments. And I was even telling him, I was like, that pass that you did, man, on the forehand side, I was thinking of diving at this one. He says, why didn't you? I was like, man, the ball was so high, man. You're so tall. It has no chance for me to dive. I thought about it. He's like, well, thank God he did not. And I was like, you make me look like a fool. I was like, come on, man. So it's no, it was a great. It was a great way to talk. So yeah, and John is a super nice guy.
Yeah, you're nice too.
Yeah. Your first Masters final, does it feel like a big milestone? You put a lot of these events to get to the final one time.
I think it's a good step. It's a good step. I've been on tour for quite some time now, and I appreciate those moments. I'm starting to appreciate him even more, and being able to compete at a final, it's always a great feeling. No matter if it's a Master 1000 event or a 250, it's always something that you work for, and it all comes down to that. And for me, as I said, right now it's just all about just going step by step and just building up not only my confidence, my game, to be able to do that pretty much every time I'm entering a tournament, and I feel good. I think the body's responding well. I've been playing good tennis as well, so that actually helps, and hopefully tomorrow is going to be one of those days that I can again produce good tennis. But not only that, I just want to kind of make sure that I'm going into the right direction.
Thoughts on either Kyrgios or Ferrer?
Two completely different players. Two completely different players. I'm gonna watch tonight for sure and see how the match will go, but I need to wait and see who's gonna win. We all know, how David has been playing throughout his career. Nick has been playing great this week. I watched quite a few of his matches, and he's been serving great and moving, so the hip seems to be better and everything. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how things will go tonight, but I think I'm going to think about it right after.
You said that you've been on tour for quite a few years, and this is your first Masters 1000 final. Is it some kind of little weight off your shoulders, some kind of liberation after the semi-final in Australia, where you got very close to got to a slam final? Does it mean anything in terms of one significant step towards a big win?
Yeah, it means to me. Of course, it means to me, because this is something I can obviously check off my list. But I always had like a higher goals for myself, and I think the biggest pressure I'm putting on myself, it comes from me. So. But yeah, I don't want to think that way right now. I don't want to be relaxed just because I'm playing on the final tomorrow and be like, oh, great, I got to the final, now I can just take it easy. No, this is those moments also that you want to build a momentum, and it's so hard to get that kind of momentum on tour, especially with so many players are playing good and competing. Everybody's playing well nowadays, so I think it's so important to keep that momentum going, that game with you, and just apply it every single time till there's no more, basically. Just keep on going. And I think that's what the best players in the world have been doing throughout all the years. Rafa, Roger, and Novak. I mean, once they build the momentum, they were pretty much unplayable, and you've seen other people doing it, and why not you? And I think a lot of players right now are knocking on the door, and it's different when you don't see like guys for sure playing quarters, semis, and they're not top four. It's a completely different view on the other side of the net. So yeah, I think that's how I look on things right now.
Speaking of momentum, you got off to an exceptional start in 2017, playing very well. What do you attribute that to, and what do you attribute maybe cooling off from your hot start to?
Well, I think the off season, for sure. The off season, I started working, I think, earlier than everybody that last off season, and I kept it for quite some time. And yeah, coming to Australia, I like playing in Australia. I like the weather. The heat really helps me to play better. I know I like my chances even more back then, so that's great. And yeah, it was just the clay court season wasn't the best for me. That was done. That I think is the only I want to say negative, but kind of something that I was a little bit down about, because I grew up on clay. I mean, I like playing on clay, and it's just a couple of times pretty unfortunate losses. I had quite a few match points here and there, so it was kind of not easy. And you have those as we said, the momentum, you kind of switch. So yeah, I couldn't get too down on myself. I had to kind of regroup and take a step back. After Wimbledon, I took some time off a little bit and kind of reflect on everything that I did this year, what worked, what not. And you're slowly starting to build up again. But the most important is your mental toughness, how you prepare mentally for not only for the tournament, but to be able to come, let's say, for 5-6 days off and to come back to the court is not easy. It's not as easy as everybody thinks it is. So you still feel a little bit down from your loss. You kind of like lost faith a little bit. So this is something that you don't need to forget. And luckily, I have a great team, great family, great friends around me, and they all kept me on a great level of myself. And I think I was very grounded. Kept on doing the same thing, and yeah, simplify things, control what I can.
Not trying to break your momentum, but kind of as a follow-up to what you just said. Losses can be your best opportunity for improvement and to learn. And one of probably your least favorite matches was Madrid against Dominic. He saved 5 match points. Was there anything from that, though, that you took away and said, you know what?
I can even go way back. Even in Indian Wells, I had 3 match points.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I think losses, I think they teach you the most, but it's tough. I'm not gonna lie. It sucks. Like, it's terrible. You can't sleep for 2 days. You're pissed. You don't talk. You don't eat. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, this is how you feel, but you're supposed to feel that way. You need to grow somehow, and you're gonna grow winning matches like today, and you're gonna grow from losing matches like that. But that's just simple as that for me. Like, I don't want to get too down on myself, but in the same time, I don't want to fly, high just because I'm playing well. No, it's just and I just think tennis is such a simple game if you think about it. So it's a simple game for intelligent people. That's what my father used to keep telling me when I was a kid. Grigor, why are you playing this? I'm like, I don't know, I like this shot. He says, no, but forget about that shot. It's not a good shot. It's like, why? He says, tennis is a simple game for intelligent people. So I that's in my head too nowadays. And the same thing, I guess, off the court. You need to be intelligent when, and I think also in sync with your feelings and the way you perform after that, I think really reflects on the way you practice, the way you eat, the way you're with the outside world. Because guess what? There's more to tennis.
A lot of people think you're the most handsome guy on tour, perhaps the most handsome guy that you ever played tennis. Who do you think is the most handsome guy on tour? And if it is you, so be it. No,
you're becoming very handsome with this kind of saying to me now. Oh man, that's a tough call for me, isn't it? Let's talk about women or something else, like you're talking about guys, man. Guys. Wow. You caught me off guard completely.
Sorry.
Help me out here, man. Anything helps.
Answer the women question.
No. I'm answering his question. That was the last question. He said last question. I go with... Feli. I've always been an admirer of Feli.
Yeah.
Feli Lopez, yeah, I like this guy a lot. Like, it's just... every time it's just fit and good and this long hair and the beard, and I'm like, dude, you're good. I wish I had his legs. His calves, man, is strong. And every time we're walking towards the shower, I'm like, show me those calves again. And he just starts laughing at me. And yeah, I guess him. Yeah. No. Of course there are a few others, but this is the first name that popped into my head.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.